Welcome to my 2022 Sim Awards. This is the first and likely the last one that I'll do. 2022 brought a lot of interesting equipment, and these are my personal choices based on equipment I had time to review this year. But for me, in order to consider it, it doesn't really need to have launched in the year of 2022. The first category is Best Wheelbase. There were quite a few interesting launches this year in many price categories, and now we are seeing Trustmaster coming into the direct drive space as well. The wheelbase that I have enjoyed the most this year is the Logitech Pro Direct Drive wheel. There's a lot of reaction to it based on the way it looks, though looks are kind of deceiving, and I know it's a huge wheelbase, it's made out of plastic, it doesn't really look nice, and it's kind of obnoxious in terms of size. But the force feedback experience with True Force, it's really something to behold. When well configured, it gives out an extra texturing, an extra dimension to the force feedback that is, for me, kind of unparalleled. Without it, it's still one of the best in all the titles that I've tried. It's a super smooth, detailed, and responsive experience in every way. For the wheel, Logitech added a really nice quick release. It reminds me of the Fanatec quick release, but without any of the faults. It's very well done. And the wheel that comes with it, it's actually pretty nice, all things considered. It's a nice size. It reminds me of the old Logitech wheels. It has rotary switches, and in terms of quality, it is pretty good. Of course, to use a wheelbase, you really need to connect a steering wheel, and this is going to be our next topic. I didn't have many to review this year, even if I tried plenty in Sim Racing Expo. The offer out there is so varied at many price points. In the Expo, I had the pleasure, and I love the P1 Sim Arnage for being so different with that vertical 4.3-inch screen. The new Asher Racing McLaren wheels have great potential, they have great build quality, and I absolutely loved the GSI GT wheel. But because I haven't had time with them for review, I can't consider them for an award. This year, I've checked a few, including the Fanatec McLaren V2 wheel that ended up replacing the Podium F1 on my DD1, but the wheel that, for me, takes the cake is absolutely the Mazda GS wheel. It's one of the most comfortable Formula/GT racing wheels out there. The ergonomics are top level with the buttons so easily accessible. There's plenty of buttons to choose from. You have clutches, there are decent magnetic shifters, 5 rotaries, the works. The buttons are even backlit, so it's mental to see all of this in a package that costs around £450, less than $600. I'm yet to see a wheel of this quality at this price, so of all of the choices in this video, this for me is a no-brainer. Then we move to pedals, possibly the most important category out here because it's with the pedals we gain and lose time. It's also the category I've tried the most this year, and for 2023 I have a few that I'll be trying out in the future, so subscribe to the channel to keep up to date. I've had the opportunity to try quite a few pedals this year, from the Oisingveld clones made by Gyrosim, the Acetic Fortes, which I found basically to be a more heavy-duty and more developed Fanatec V3 pedals. The first part of the awards will go to something that is well off the playing field here. It's going to be the AXE Sim True Brake mod for the Logitech G pedals. It's really hard to explain how impressed I was with it. It's not cheap. At £70, you do have to fit it yourself to the pedal base, and that takes a while. But the results, in terms of performance, are the closest I had to a load pedal set, and this is coming from a potentiometer. The braking is so natural, consistent, that I was doing the same laps in the G923 with these pedals within 10 or 20 minutes that I do in my main setup. If you don't want to upgrade to a new ecosystem from your Logitech G wheel, this is something you really need to consider, as you should consider the CSL Elite V2s if you want to buy an excellent performant, decent priced load cell. In this case, it is a solid pedal set with a fantastic brake pedal, better than many that I've tried at much cheaper price. The brake progression is customizable, easily so. The addition of the spring makes me wish more did it like this. At €299 or dollars, it definitely beats for me the older V3s and the much more expensive Acetic Fortes. Speaking of expensive, in sim racing, you don't need to get the most expensive stuff to get good performance. Sim racing nowadays is about value, and on that there are many options at many levels. The aforementioned McLaren wheel is tremendous good value, and so are the CSL Elite V2s. But I think the best value out there will be the Mozza R9. Some will say the R5 bundle, though I haven't tried it, and truly, considering what it does remind me of a 2010 bundle in a direct drive format. The R9 though, it's a relatively inexpensive, future-proof, future-rich, powerful, tiny wheelbase. It's not the wheelbase that I like the most, especially at the power it produces, but it provides, in my opinion, the most value out there. 9mm is more than enough for everybody, and I think the performance is reasonably good for it. At 450 pounds, sometimes less than that, you really can't beat this. Up until now, we were talking about the equipment that I like, but let's talk about the equipment that for me was the most disappointing. And I'm not talking about bad, because in that case, it will be the PXN V10, but in all honesty, I was expecting a horrible wheel, but what we got was an outdated one. So in that case, it was surprising in a good way, I guess. What I'm talking about is something you had some hopes for and you got your opinion changed when it was used. In that case, it will be the new Logitech pedals. There's plenty to like with them. The customizability is great and the ease of use, and probably one of the best used in the floor. However, the more I use them, the less I was into the performance of them. The brake is spongy no matter the choices you're going to use. The springs are kind of light. Then you look at the price, £349, and yeah, there are really better choices, some of them far cheaper. For the price, it really needed to bring better performance, and it's super hard to recommend it. The last category will be the best online service, but for me, there's only one winner, and that's Low Fuel Motorsports. They have definitely taken the casual competitive Assetto Corsa Competizione scene by storm by providing excellent racing throughout, lots of options to race on, and they are even expanding to R Factor 2 and Autoballista 2. All of this for free. In 1 year, they were able to bring a lot of life into Competizione, and now they are doing it again with two titles that frankly don't have a lot of daily players. In sim racing, some of the best things out there are free, and in this case, LFM was able to take the best thing out of sim racing, the community, and provide a way for everyone to drive for free. So for me, they are not only the best service this year, but the MVPs of 2022. And that's it for these awards. I'm sure you'll have your own choices. Tell us about them in the comments below and what you thought about these. Also, check out another MVP in Assetto Corsa, the Custom Shaders patch.